All right, I caught the speed. I caught up the speed to 678 of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Yo, that theme song is fire. Tell me it's not. And literally the theme song's like got the fire beat, does whatever a Spider-Man does. Because before I get into this review, guys, let's keep it funky. Please like, comment, follow this TikTok page. Hey man, and if you've seen at least 3 to 2 reviews of me, I'm not too bad, I'm not boring. You know what you should do? Subscribe to the YouTube channel in bio. So first things first, I gotta shout out the writing of this TV show. I definitely have loved the writing of this so far. This is some of the best Spider-Man Marvel studio telling so far, the best yet. And I think it's really because of the age and also the way that they're using the young age that he's at and tying it very subtly to the MCU that we now know and love. Now, to me, the selling point in episode 6 is mad simple. I think the title is literally Meeting a Devil. Hey, my man is in this series. He did an amazing job. I think it's the actual Daredevil voice of the guy, Henry Cox, Charlie Cox. Let me know in the comments. Was this Charlie Cox's voice? This is why Marvel characters are so important to be under the Marvel Studio hub. Scenes like this. I was so hyped when I saw my boy in it. Not to mention, he's one of the dopest Marvel fighters in the game. He also gave us some clues into the storyline of where we're at. He was the first person to now tell Peter, like, yo, look out for Norman. I ain't trusting him, and I can't even see. Not only that, back to what I was saying, really great ways of tying it to the MCU. In X 678, we get a lot more play of the Sokovia Accords and understanding how the Sokovia Accords is being used in this world at this point of time with the MCU Civil War in the background of the story. Oh, and yeah, I had to mention, y'all know I love the fighting scene with these two, right? I mean, that was like, man, now in episode 7, I gotta give it to this brother right here. My boy Scorpion made an amazing appearance and was the star villain for episode 7. Now, on a side note, it was some great connective tissue because he kind of looks like the MCU Scorpion, the MCU one from Tom Holland's Spider-Man Homecoming. I caught that because the one thing I remember was the tattoo. Those in the comments. I remember the tattoo. I mean, this fight scene was so real and so raw that he got his ass whooped. Like, pow. And to be honest, to me, this moment was very similar to a moment in Spider-Man 3 with Tom Holland. I mean, shout out to the people behind this cartoon because this was a moment that I didn't expect. I mean, it got so bad. I mean, he got his eye stabbed. He got his chest stabbed. He's bleeding. This is a cartoon, for God's sakes. And the violence was real. But it's also a point that they're threadlining in this show of Peter Parker learning the power of why it is to be Spider-Man, putting the power to get up and fight, to fall down. Like, that's a big part of any superhero. But in Peter Parker's world, definitely he has to have these moments where he has to get so beaten down to get back up. Not to mention, I know I loved it. We all know we loved it when we saw this glider. The fact that the glider saved him, the fact that, we're not seeing him in that goblin costume yet because that's going to be when things get real bad. Not to mention, when we slide into episode 8, Doc Ock for me is a steal of a show. I didn't expect us to get such an interesting Doc Ock, something we know and love, but he is becoming the brains of this season operation. Not to also mention, just to say that this was like a horrific scene. They used him in a very horrific way, nostalgia to Spider-Man live action 2. Like, Doc Ock is one of the scariest villains, and this was the best way to use it. That's all I had to say. And not to mention, we're like a couple steps closer to the red Spider-Man suit designed by his best friend. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. This show just turned out to be a banger. Let me know your thoughts in the comments of episode 678. Who's your favorite character? What's your favorite moment?